see if your hotel has a nice gym or if there's a close gym nearby or like areas where you can get, 1 or 2 workouts. Because even if you're not going to hit your normal 5 days a week lifting, if you get 2 good workouts in the week, it's going to, again, you're probably not going to lose a lot of muscle mass.
Welcome to Iron Summit, where we cover topics about health, fitness, and general performance through the eyes of former elite Division I wrestlers. We're live. This is a big episode because it is the first episode with Ryan as a married man.
Yeah.
Congrats to Ryan and Chloe.
Thank you. I don't know why, just the way you started that, I thought there was going to be some catch line to that, and then it was like nice. It was funny.
Well, it's because usually I'm mean to you. So
I was like waiting for like some like your life's over comment or something like that, and then you were like, "Congrats, you guys."
No, that's being married is one of the best things.
I love that. I think it's so cool. I was talking about this with somebody too. It feels like the older generation, they're all like low-key disrespectful about their wives. Sometimes they're like, "Oh, yeah, your life's over, your wife," And then like the younger generations like flip that, where they're like, "No, like that's my wife. That's sweet, man. That's a cool thing." Yeah. So it's cool.
It is cool. But so you guys got married, it's like 2 weeks ago now? Full 2 weeks?
I don't even know. It's the 27th. Yeah, we were the 12th.
The 12th? That's good. You got your anniversary down? Past the first test.
Nailed it.
Yep, nailed it. So it's been a full 2 weeks. You went on your honeymoon.
Yep.
Now back at it.
Just got back last night. We were in Hawaii, just like your hat, Jim Maui.
I'm repping today.
And actually, a great segue. But before we get into the episode, I gotta ask, like, did you watch the opening ceremonies at the Olympics?
I did, just for one reason only, to see Darian.
Let's go.
Come across.
That was awesome.
I literally watched until Puerto Rico went, and then I went and got my workout in.
That's awesome. Yeah, we got some good guests in the pipeline after the Olympics are done that are competing. So it'll be fun to watch them. And then also, dude, it was kind of interesting. You see all the controversy with all the different the opening ceremonies and how it was like mocking Christianity and all that stuff.
Yeah, dude, it was a really strange opening ceremony. Like, I always like watching the athletes, and I only watch like parts of the performances, but I heard it was like a lot of people didn't love it, and the parts of it I did see, it was weird. I gotta say, I was like, what is happening?
Dude, it's tough for me to like, I don't know, some of it I think was super obvious, but it seems like sometimes people grasp for straws on certain things on like social media, and then some of it it's like, wow, they blatantly did this and like thought this wasn't gonna like get called out by everybody in the world that is watching this. Yeah. So I don't know, it was interesting. I don't know exactly how that was planned or what was happening, but I couldn't believe how weird. Not that I watched the whole thing. I was kind of just caught bits and pieces, but it was weird.
Watched the parade. It was also weird that instead of like walking into a venue or something, the athletes were like on boats.
Dude, I thought that was sweet.
I think it's cool, but I've talked to like, people who've been a part of the Olympics, and like one of the coolest things is like how all the athletes like walk out together. You get to meet different people.
Yeah.
So they must, I don't know, maybe they like congregated before or after and still got to have the same experience, but we'll have to ask. We'll ask some of the guests we have coming on after the Olympics. We can talk to Darian. We've already had one Olympian this go around on the podcast. So we can, we'll find out. I know Darian said it was fun. I've been texting with him. So
yeah,
he said
that's awesome.
If you're in it, it's got to be such a cool experience.
Absolutely. It'll be really cool to talk to them for sure. And it's so fun. I love the like, I don't know, the Olympics just bring out such like national pride. It's fun to watch. Like everybody's, rooting on USA.
Outside of wrestling, which is obviously the best sport in the Olympics. What's your favorite? Like, what are you going to watch? Like, what's your favorite to watch?
And just to be clear, we're talking just Summer Olympics.
Just summer.
Yeah. Dude, that's a good question. I don't know. I think track's like actually pretty interesting, but then like
Like,
you'll just randomly catch like a weird late night like water polo game or something. That's sweet. But if I like pretty consistently, track's fun to watch. I think there's a lot of different events and it's cool.
I love sprinting. I just think
Yeah.
it's like it's kind of I don't know if we actually I don't know if we talked about it, but sprinting is like really similar to powerlifting. It's like trying to nail it's almost a strength sport, so I like it.
Yeah.
It's like 11 seconds for the 100-meter ish, 9 to 11 seconds, men's or women's, and then for 200 meters like 20 seconds, but that's pretty high strength output. I think it's fun to watch, and I also think that is like some of the most apex human genetics
Yeah, no, absolutely.
you'll ever
And,
see.
and you understand it and it catches your attention. Like, I don't know, when you start watching races that are longer where it's like a couple minutes
It's
long,
still
it's like
so impressive, but
it's crazy,
that
but
shit
it's
doesn't. 100 meters, like I gotta watch 10 seconds.
yeah.
And it's like 10 seconds of just raw athleticism and power, which is
My ADD brain can comprehend who's winning. I understand the sport. It's get to that point. Yeah, no, it is sweet. It's really cool. It is interesting too, man. Like I'm kind of excited for some of the new sports, and then some of the new sports in the Olympics. It's like, really, we're adding this before some other sports. Like,
Mhm.
we almost cut wrestling a couple years ago, and yeah, I don't
Wow. I
know.
think I've said this to Alexis before the Olympics started, and they were showing all the sports. I was like, we need to go through the Olympics and put like a lot of these on the chopping block and like get down to the basics again. Like we, and not to like, I mean, some of the sports are awesome, but uh, like basketball, these guys like this is like their fifth most important thing. Like maybe. So
Dude,
like, why are
yeah,
we doing it? Like even like tennis, like the Grand Slams may mean way more to the tennis players, pay a lot more money, even like just personal pride, even pride for their country. Like it's bigger deal for a Spanish player to win the U.S. Open in tennis than it is for a Spanish player to win the Olympics in tennis.
yeah.
It's just more important. So like a lot of those sports where there's huge pro venues, I think we should you know I don't know, just doesn't feel quite aligned with the Olympic spirit.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely tough, and they keep adding. I know our boy Joe DeSena is trying to get Spartan races in there. It'd be sweet. It'd be really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, put it in like a track and field event. Well, they have like a couple of track and field events like moving that way. Like, have you ever watched like the steeplechases?
Yeah, dude, those are
Like
crazy.
like halfway to a Spartan race.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
why not get Spartan in there?
Just grab some mud, some spears. Um,
What?
we're actually we'll have to do this. I don't know if I've talked. I don't even think I told you about this yet, but I think Joe's gonna. We got to find a Spartan race in Denver, and it'll help us. We'll do a Iron Summit one. It'll be fun.
That'll be
We'll get a
awesome.
we'll get a crew together. We gotta get a bunch of wrestlers, bunch of fitness mountain barbell people, and do it.
Yep, I am I'm not the most adept at running, but it's
I
fun.
can't wait. I'm wearing a GoPro and I'm following you around.
No, I'm gonna be following you on that one.
You're not gonna catch me.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm not. I'm gonna be behind you the whole race.
I gotta take my wins, brother. I'm like, I know you're gonna beat me in any power output, but I'm pretty sure I can run a mile faster than you.
You still can outbench me for the next like
Hey,
4 months,
I
3 months.
appreciate that reminder. How is the pack doing? How's the recovery?
It's going really well. Fully out of
Yeah,
the sling. I've been out of the sling for pretty much since your wedding, unless I'm like I wore it a couple times in like really busy public places. Doing a lot of physical therapy, like
nice.
3 times a day, exercises twice a day, electrical stimulation, just like staying on it, and it's making a difference. Like it feels like I can use it now. I can move it around.
That's awesome, dude.
It doesn't feel 100%, but it's not like a huge burden in everyday life anymore. So
Yeah,
then now I'll slowly get to progress my exercises. Um, Probably in the next like after 6 weeks, they say like a lot of the sutures have taken, and I can start doing light loading of the pack. Which
nice.
I'm at like 4 weeks and a day, so
Yeah,
we're getting there.
that's no, that's awesome. I felt so bad at my wedding. I've totally forgotten. I like put my hand on your shoulder. And I was like,
You didn't hurt me at all.
oh,
You felt wait. I should have milked it. I should have
this,
like
oh. I'm like, how did I not? Yeah, but yeah, that's you told me you're going hiking today. That's like I don't want to jinx it, but don't like fall because you can't really like. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
you could, but you'd probably be better off rolling than catching
yeah, for sure.
yourself.
The left. That's like I think
Yeah,
most of the reason they want you wearing your sling for so long is to like not be
you
an
think
idiot.
about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
it's so true. Once it feels like good enough, you kind of forget about it. But like you'll hurt yourself if you like start doing what you did before, or like grab something quickly, or
Yep, exactly. I'm in that phase where I got to be careful for the next like 2 weeks, but I am doing all the right stuff to heal it up. I'm learning a lot about like this early injury recovery. Isometrics are like hugely important. Something I didn't know a lot about, but I've learned from a PT I'm working with, a guy named John Quint.
yeah,
Maybe I'll see if we can get him on here. He's out of West Side Barbell,
cool.
powerlifting, bodybuilding background, then has gotten into like injury rehab and PT, but and works with a lot of NFL players. But basically, all I'm doing for PT is like isometrics.
That's
It just
sweet, dude.
ramps up collagen production. Yeah, it's cool.
So is there like is that the general like theory why or like
So
why
I
else
mean,
other like collagen production? It's something you can do that you're not loading super heavy. I mean, you could.
exactly, because when you're healing an injury, like your body just I don't know all the terms like but this is layman's. This is Max's idiot version. When right after an injury happens, your body just starts producing a bunch of collagen and like throwing it at the point of the injury. So for me, it's literally like where the tear occurred and where they put the sutures in. But like it just kind of like blasts it, and the collagen's all over the place. It's not organized. You want to like start organizing that collagen so it like runs in the direction of the muscle fibers and the way the tendon is supposed to. And the best way to do that is through load. But obviously you don't want to load like a surgical repair. So if you start like flexing it in a really shortened position, so isometric, I guess that's the second key point is like isometrics and in a shortened position of the muscle, it's like really safe load. So your body can start organizing that collagen, and it also increases the amount of collagen your body's going to produce if you're doing a lot of like isometrics. So with like a tendon or a muscle injury, it's really good. And then we'll start like my understanding is next week as I cleared this point, we'll start like doing isometrics and lengthened, more and more lengthened positions, maybe some like stabilization, holding some weights, not like moving any load or anything like that, but just doing like isometrics, holding a weight,
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
dude, that's interesting. That's super interesting too because I'd be curious. Like, we should definitely get him on because like if it's increasing collagen production, it's probably important to do some isometrics even when you're not hurt, so that you have more collagen and that
Yes.
you're repairing. And then the other thing is what you're
That's
talking about,
something,
like
yeah, he's a specialist on, but keep going.
yeah, no, okay, I love that. But we were so Bob Baker that we had on earlier,
Yep.
I don't know, couple guests ago. He had told me I was just talking to him at his kid was wrestling at Cardinal Wrestling Club, and we were just talking for a couple minutes, and I told him I just had ankle surgery, and he's like, make sure you get some load on it because it's really important that those fibers that are laying down
Yep.
are going
They're
the
going
right
the right
way.
way.
And so he's like, it's important to do it the like early on. You got to do it safe, but it's important to do that. And I was like, I'd never heard that before, but yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, no, that's
Like load
sweet,
it
dude.
as soon as you can, but load it in the right ways. Like loading a pec tear doesn't mean go like grab a barbell and start benching because you're
Right.
gonna mess yourself up. But you start like doing isometrics and then you progress from there. But one thing that's super interesting that John said is that like the old theory is that you can't increase tendon or ligament size and
Mm,
strength. Like it's kind of like it's set, but they're seeing that you actually can, and it's through like loading, doing the isometrics in these different lengthened positions. It's not like muscles are way more adaptable than tendons and
yeah.
ligaments, but you can actually increase the strength of your tendons and ligaments through that kind of stuff over time. And then there's I think the most well put together system, at least thus far, is have you heard of FRC, like functional
Yeah.
training
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
conditioning? Yeah, he's a specialist in that, but that's kind of like what FRC is all about, is like putting your body in these lengthened positions and then contracting to develop more soft tissue strength and size.
That's interesting. Yeah, dang, dude. It's such a, I don't know, it's crazy that we learn so many new things about the body that like has been going on
Well,
for like people study this all the time and you're just like learning, oh, we can actually change this thing or this actually helps better for injuries when we used to think this.
and you got to think like these orthopedic surgeons are so far ahead of the curve on like what they're able to do that the recovery protocols are lagging behind because there's like we haven't had the time to study and
Yeah.
understand. We're just like ACL is probably the most researched,
Mhm.
um, and they're like loading people with ACLs like right away now.
Dude, you're right in the motion machine. You're like, yeah,
Yep, you're
no,
doing
it is
isometric
crazy.
contractions in your knee joint. Like it's right away, and I think um, it's another thing I've kind of learned through this project. Like I think also a lot of surgeons, and rightfully so, are super conservative. They kind of hand out the most conservative, like low risk recovery protocol. Not saying go and don't do what your surgeon does. Listen, like in this process, I've been consulting with my surgeon, talking with the PT, like it's back and forth, but kind of the
But
cutting edge surgeon.
the disclaimer below, not
For
medical
sure.
advice.
Definitely not medical advice. But the most advanced surgeons, which I think I had a procedure with them, are encouraging their clients to load it sooner in a safe way, but kind of
Yeah.
like, basically the faster you get motion and you can load something, the faster it's going to heal.
Yeah.
Like if you sit in a straight leg brace or a sling for 8 weeks, you're not only recovering from the surgery, but also 8 weeks of a joint being immobilized, which is kind
Right.
of the old school thought.
Yeah, no, that's super true. And I mean, it's bringing more nutrients to the muscle. Like you're continuing to move it and bring blood flow to the area. Like there's so many. Yeah, it is interesting too, though, because you gotta protect yourself from yourself too. Because even though like there's a certain point where you could probably do some stuff, but you like the one slip up that you mess up, like you mess everything
Yeah.
up. Like I definitely felt that with my ankle. I was like, I could walk right now, but if I walked around without the boot on and I accidentally like it's vulnerable right now, and I
Yep.
twist my ankle, I'm just blew everything up that I was just you're
Yeah.
protecting
And you
against that
don't
one bad
you
event.
don't want to go through that again. Like surgery is
Yeah.
not fun. That's what pain is a strong motivator. So you're like, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to
What about
start at ground zero.
not to get too deep in the weeds here, but do you think you'll keep doing the amount of collagen that you've been doing? I don't know, 8 months from now, are you going to continue to, or at least higher levels of
I
collagen
will
than you
have.
used to
I
do?
will do more collagen. Yeah, and I'm probably
Okay.
gonna. I think this taught me though. I'm gonna spend more time strengthening soft tissue as
Mm.
well.
Okay.
Putting more time into that. I'll work. I'll try and get a better understanding of that from John. We'll get him on the. We'll see if I can convince him to come on the podcast.
Okay. Sweet.
And but we'll do that, and we'll yeah. I will continue to use collagen. I think there's so much science coming out around because I think for a while collagen was like all the rave,
Hmm.
but then a bunch of science like, hey, collagen's not that good of a protein, especially from muscle mass, which is true. It's
Yeah.
not like if you're counting collagen towards your total protein goal for macros, you're kind of using collagen in the wrong way. Collagen is really beneficial for, like soft tissue recovery, healthy skin and nails. It's kind of like the protein that your body uses for everything besides muscle mass.
Yeah. I've also everything I've read too. It's like if you have your total amount of protein super high, the quality of protein isn't that important, right? But if you're gonna eat, you know, very minimal amounts of protein, you need really high quality
Yeah.
protein that you can actually use. And so collagen's fine. Um,
Yeah.
if
It's
if you
good.
have a lot of other protein as well, right? But it's just
Yep.
not. Yeah, you don't want to just eat collagen and not have animal protein and other
Yeah.
forms of protein with a better amino profile or amino acid profile.
Yep. Yeah. That's kind of the way my coach told me to look at it is like hit your protein goal of 250 from like animal and dairy, and then eat the collagen on top of that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's why I'm at like 400 grams of protein because it's like 250 from and like traditional sources and 150 from collagen.
yeah. No, absolutely.
I don't think
One
I'll
other,
keep it that high. It's just like I'm uncomfortably full.
right? That's a lot, but like you'll keep it higher than you did before the injury.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. That makes sense. Um,
Yep.
I always felt like I started taking collagen in college, and I always felt like my ligaments and joints felt a lot better. Maybe that's placebo.
Yep.
100% could be placebo, but I felt like
I
I
think
was
it's real.
better. You know,
Yeah.
so, even if it's a little bit, it's like that extra percent. You don't tear as much, or you don't tear
Yeah.
something, or you know. But
It
um,
also explains your beautiful skin and hair.
just a bunch of collagen. You know, some people make their own bone broth. You ever done that?
Yep. My
Yeah.
mom does it. I've
That,
Alexis has done it a couple times. They're just like boiled bones, essentially.
dude, it's crazy, but it's probably the best kind of collagen you could get.
Probably, yeah. I mean, and then also like like if you eat like ribs or like something that's like around the bone, you're getting a
Yeah.
good amount of collagen too.
Eat your
Um,
T-bones, eat your ribs,
yeah,
chicken wings.
don't need to convince me. Those have a good amount of collagen in it, but
Yeah.
also a lot of fat. Yep.
Dude,
And we'll segue into go
yeah,
ahead.
no, absolutely. I'm with it with the segue. Next time, I don't want to get into this now, but we got to talk some of the NCAA updates with roster caps and salary cap stuff.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, let's get into the topic.
Yep. So today we're going to talk a little bit about traveling and fitness and how to stay on track, but also enjoy your vacation. We talked a little bit about this with Johnny Ramirez, probably, I don't know, 8 episodes ago,
Yeah,
something like that. Close enough. Yeah. So I think first thing I want to say on this topic is you should just enjoy your vacations and
yeah,
not. It doesn't need to be a point of focus. Um, there's a lot of science on it's actually something my coach got into recently with me because of my injury, but like how long it takes to lose contractile tissue, all that. It's like way longer than you'd think. So if you go on even a 2 week vacation and you didn't touch a weight, you might like deflate a little bit, but you're not gonna lose any real muscle mass.
yeah. No, absolutely. And I think that this whole thing too is it's more of like managing the mental of it, because everything in a science like literally points to the fact that you can't do that much damage aside from like, okay, if you go on a 14-day bender and
Get a
you're,
little
you
get a
know,
little chubby.
you'll put on a little, but like if you go into it in good shape, it's like it's easy to bounce back. It'll take you, a good couple workouts, and then you'll feel like, oh, I'm like in a good spot again. And then you give it a couple weeks and you didn't miss anything. And I'd argue if you're overtraining, like you're gonna do a lot better.
It's
Your
actually
body's gonna
healthier.
recover. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I
But
I've actually, so on that point, like real quick, a lot of and this is something I've learned more and more over the last several years, but like a lot of the best bodybuilders in the world. So these guys, like their job is to do nothing but be huge and have low body fat a couple times a year.
great
They
job.
take like after the Olympia, they'll take a month and not touch a weight. Like, and this is very common practice in that sport.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
Well, and I
like
think
that goes to show you can be pretty jacked and not touch a weight for a month a year.
Well, I mean, you think about it too. It's like some of those studies. There's a lot of different numbers, but you lose like 0.5% of muscle per year after, I don't know, age 35 or whatever. Um,
Mhm.
if you think about that, like that's that's for like a general population. Like, how many of your
No,
friends?
yeah, not if you're resistance training. Yeah,
Yeah, and I don't, not probably not a whole lot of your friends, but I don't think I know anybody really yet either. But like, there's a lot of people that like after college just don't work out for like the rest of their lives, and it's not like they're just like
yeah.
waste away to nothing, right? Not I'm not saying do that, but like, um, yeah, your
No,
7 day,
I know
10 day
some guys
vacations.
who like, yeah, I know some guys who wrestle in college and were like absolutely jacked in college and then haven't touched a weight and barely worked out since, and they still look good
Yeah, yeah.
10 years later.
Laid that foundation and just riding that high for a
Yep.
long time. um, but I do think one of the easiest things to do to kind of like maintain that is make sure you're just hitting your protein, like just generally, because I do think, and I think it's kind of a unique problem, but you definitely have this too. We've talked about before. Is like make sure you're eating enough, because usually when you're go traveling, it's hard to get the number of meals that you typically would get when you kind of have your routine and you can easily get to your food and you plan for your days when, there's curveballs or
Yeah.
you might have long windows without eating.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we'll transition from like the don't worry about it, you'll be fine, which is probably the truth, to like if you're a psycho like you and I, and you and you want to think about these things on your vacation, which I genuinely enjoy it. Like I'm wearing Jim Maui hat, which I think is now called McKenna Hawaii. Same owner though, Paul. Good dude. We'll give him a shout out.
Shout out,
But
Paul.
he like I like going on vacation and finding cool gyms and like and I sometimes enjoy my training most when I'm on vacation because I have nothing else to worry about.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you are a meathead like I am, like going somewhere and just relaxing and lifting is like that's like
It's sweet.
that is yeah.
No, I love that. I do think that's cool too, is like it adds kind of like a fun activity to, but I think a good point in what you just said is kind of plan for like if you're worried about this, look into the places where you're going, look into your itinerary and like see if your hotel has a nice gym or if there's a close gym nearby or like areas where you can get, one or two workouts. Because even if you're not going to hit your normal 5 days a week lifting, if you get two good workouts in the week, it's going to, again, you're probably not going to lose a lot of muscle mass if you didn't, but you're going to feel good coming back and not really miss a beat, getting a couple workouts in at a nice gym.
Yeah. It's fun. I enjoy checking out different gyms all around the country, and Alexis and I like enjoy that when we travel, or we'll go to a hotel that has a cool gym and just enjoy getting to like focus on training a little more than we get to in our busier everyday lives.
Yeah.
But so I guess that would be one tip is like find if you want to think about it, yeah, find somewhere that has a cool gym or a hotel that has a cool gym. And no, yeah, the other one was that you said was focus on hitting your protein, getting enough protein in. I always travel with some whey protein just because it's super easy to supplement your protein intake with. Like I've noticed, like sometimes hotel breakfasts or traveling, it can be hard to get enough protein in at breakfast.
The worst.
Yeah, so I'll like wake up, make a protein shake, drink that, and then go to breakfast.
I love it. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think whey protein, beef jerky, protein bars, like there's a lot of good options here and a lot of places like I mean, if you're really pressed, most places have a thing of milk. Like go drink some milk or like there's a lot I mean, I grabbed a couple of Fairlifes last week. Like they're all over.
Oh yeah,
It's easy to get some
yeah.
some
Go to a
quick
gas
protein.
station, you can get Fairlife. Fairlife
Yeah.
is man. We can have a whole episode on Fairlife. I love
The
Fairlife.
best, dude. So we had them at Northwestern at our nutrition station. So it was like unlimited Fairlifes and core powers. And
With
dude,
massages and athlete
dude,
dining.
I drank like three of those a day. I forgot about milk. Like growing up, my mom, we drink it with breakfast and dinner and lunch, and like every day. And then you kind of go to middle school, high school, and you kind of stop. And then went back to college. I was like drinking milk like 3 or 4 times a day. It was sweet.
Well, I'm allergic to dairy, like really bad. I'm super lactose
Lactose
intolerant.
free, dude.
I grew up drinking no milk. Fairlife has changed my life.
It's so good. And yeah, they take out lactose, they ultra filter it so it's more
Yeah.
protein. Dude, it's so good. They did have
Do
that one
you drink
stint.
like just like the 2% or the chocolate, or do you get like the protein ones?
I get so my favorite's probably just the plain the blue and white ones. I don't know. They're
The
the
2%.
regular milk. Yeah. And then the core powers, the vanilla core powers are really good.
So good. All right, so that's a tip in and of itself. Drink Fairlife on vacation.
Hey, Fairlife's not sponsoring us, but if anybody knows Fairlife, we're huge
Like,
fans.
we're both
uh,
huge fans. I had a thought about that though. Another you said beef jerky.
yeah.
And one thing I've noticed, this is like a little something I've noticed for myself, maybe you could use it as a tip, is if I eat too much traditional beef jerky, it hurts my stomach. I have a sensitive
Mm,
stomach.
yeah.
My tummy's up when I drink dairy.
Tell me.
But too much beef jerky, same thing. But if I get biltong, which is like air dried, I'll usually stock up on that before I go. Doesn't upset
Huh.
my stomach.
That's interesting. I do know what you're talking about though too, and I think part of it is like maybe it's the amount of salt or something. But if I like really don't have something and I just start eating a bunch of beef jerky, like you don't feel the greatest. Um, but it's I
I
think
don't
it's
get
always
that
a
with
good like
Oklahoma,
okay. I'll have to check that out.
so
I think it's a
I
good
can eat
filler.
like
I
half
don't
the bill top to go.
do chomps. I like chomp sticks. Those are good. Um, but yeah, there's the other thing is too, if you're like out in the hot sun, it's kind of nice to have that extra salt. Like you're already sweating all the time. Good to have some electrolytes with you through some meat.
For sure. Some meat
Um,
electrolytes. Best kind.
the best kind. I think the other thing too, dude, is like if you're really worried about this, um, plan some activity. Like I know you're probably this way too. Is like I think in your itinerary, it's fun to do some activities. So if you're like hiking and doing outdoor stuff, like it's not strength training per se, but you're out there being active, doing stuff. You're getting blood flow, and you're moving your body. I think that's always going to help you stay on track with your nutrition goals or not nutrition, your fitness goals. Um, going on hikes, going sightseeing. Like usually you're walking around a lot when you're on vacation, unless you're just screwing off by the pool. But
Well, I mean, like, yeah, there's so many different. I think this is like how we vacation. It sounds like we vacation in a similar way, but I usually end up with like way more steps a day than when I'm at home or having to work.
yeah.
Um, I will. A lot of people go on vacation and sit by the pool and drink. And like, if that's your deal,
Which
like, good for you. That's
that's
fine.
fair too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. It's not going to help your fitness goals. We'll say that, but that if that's your like what you want to do it. But you're also, I have a feeling the people who do that probably aren't listening to this podcast.
Well, and
So,
honestly, dude, I I'm definitely a go out and do stuff on vacations, but I do like a day or two of just like chilling because it's like I never just sit down and
oh,
do nothing.
absolutely.
So like sitting by a pool, just hanging out
I'm
and
not.
just
Yeah,
like I think it's awesome. It's a great recovery day. It's like wow, you never get to do this. You literally don't have
no,
like any deadline. Yeah,
I'm actually super. I'm way more about that than Alexis is. Alexis wants to have like an activity planned every day.
dude,
You know,
Chloe's
like
the same
climbing a
way.
different mountain. But like doing like I'm like I just want to sit on the beach. Like
I'll go ride some waves, chill, hang out.
yeah.
No, absolutely. But I do think there's waves in a vacation like that. Not waves, but like different days in a vacation where, maybe you're on the beach one day and then you're hiking the next day. And so if you're really worried about this early morning, it's easy to get a workout in if you're gonna have a lazy day if you want to. Um, but also plan your deload week around your vacation. I think it's a great time to ramp up hard before vacation, and then this is your time to recover and kind of let your CNS recover, your body recover, and go back ready to hit it hard when you get back.
Absolutely. That's a great piece of advice. Yeah, get some light pumps so you look good on the beach or at the pool, but don't yeah, plan your deload weeks around your vacation. It's
Yeah,
it's hard to like at like your hotel or you find a really cool gym. It's hard to like really get into your like heavy stuff on your
yeah,
vacation anyway. If you do, it's also like you're usually like out in the sun a lot more and like we were talking, sometimes I'm more active on vacation than at home. So it's like my workouts, like it wouldn't even line up well
yeah,
if I was like trying to really like, especially for something like powerlifting.
yeah. Now I think too, man. Like, I mean, I used to travel a lot, and I think most hotel gyms like you don't have a whole lot of weights, but like I would change usually whatever program I'm doing. Um, just kind of turn that day into more of a hypertrophy program and be like, okay, I'm going to do a lot of reps with some lighter weights because there's only 50-pound dumbbells here or, a cable machine that goes to, X amount of weight. So I think doing a lot more reps. I've been more sore sometimes from these workouts because you're like not used to the amount of volume that you do when you're on
Really?
vacation. Yeah.
Yep. Another thing, and because I've heard this before, is like, oh, I can't train in a hotel gym. There's only 50-pound dumbbells. I'm like, all right, we'll do 5-second negatives.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can make through negatives and eccentrics, you can make any weight hard.
Yeah.
So Just go put some eccentrics on your training. Go do more sets. Go do more reps. You can make any dumbbell hard. Um, maybe not like a 10. Well, maybe for you, but no, just kidding.
Hey man, if
You
you
can
hold
make
a 10,
dumbbell.
listen, Max, with your good shoulder, hold a 10-pound dumbbell in front of your face. See if you can do it for
I
10
know.
minutes.
You can make a dumbbell hard. No chance. I could just do normal lateral raises with 10-pound dumbbells.
Yeah.
Like a set of 30, and that's like really hard.
I think it's a good point too, man. Like bodybuilders are really good at making lightweight feel heavy. And that's like a super skill. To like be able to contract your muscles and really like feel the movement. And I think that this is a good time to, it's kind of almost like you're cross training when you're on vacation. Like I think it's kind of fun because you kind of got to get creative. You can't do your normal, typically you don't have the perfect equipment that is part of your normal, Iron Summit hypertrophy program. It's like you got to go figure out how to get your chest and triceps with this random gym that you're placed in. So it's kind of a fun like challenge to be able to figure
Yeah.
out like what can I hit and what do I not normally hit that I can hit here.
Yeah. That's a great way to look at it. I think, yeah, and then maybe you can find some different new things that you like, or it's just like at the very least, even if you don't love it, it's like a totally novel stimulus.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're super psycho like Max, maybe you put some bands in your backpack or something or your in your suitcase.
Did you bring brands to Hawaii?
No, I
No.
didn't.
I've done it. I've done it before. I've definitely done it before.
We during COVID we got trapped where we had to go into the dorms for 10 days when you got COVID in school, and we brought some bands and like some dumbbells. We were like sneaking dumbbells in our backpack, and it was funny. We had prison workouts in those dorms halls. There's like two people in the whole hallway because you're separated, and so me and Troy Fisher, shout out to Troy. We were just getting some prison workouts in the COVID lockdowns.
Prison, COVID prison.
We literally felt like the staircase had like an overhang, and so we are doing like pull ups on this like I don't even know just like a beam, just like a steel
Yeah,
beam. It
yeah,
was sweet. It's great workouts.
that is fun. Yeah, you figure it out. You figure it out. Yeah, there's always, and it's I think the finding a place to work out, figuring out how to work out, figuring out how to make the exercises work for your workouts is part of the fun on working out when you're traveling, and why I actually do enjoy it.
Yeah, I think too. You learn like as you do more stuff, you learn to enjoy your vacations, but then also like if you're like feeling like, hey, I feel like I'm like kind of eating a lot, like I feel like this is kind of hurt my progress or whatnot. Like you learn like, okay, it's easier for me to, maybe just have a protein shake for breakfast instead of eating, I don't know, 3,000 calories at breakfast and then having a full day of drinking and three other
Yep,
meals as well.
that was the Johnny
So
Ramirez tip: light breakfast if you're trying to stay lean. Yeah, I remember
if you're
that's a
trying to
good
stay,
tip. You're on a lighter
it's
breakfast, and then yeah, eat more at dinner and lunch, and you get your workout in. So then your body's like directing the nutrients in the right
yeah.
direction, or just be active. You don't have to get a workout in, but if you go for a walk or a hike or something like that, your body's gonna partition nutrients way better than if you've just been sitting around all day.
I think counter that too, not to like not counter it, but like make sure your breakfast has enough protein.
Yeah.
Like I'm not no, I'm saying like I
Oh
definitely
yeah.
do that, but I think if I eat a small breakfast with not enough protein, I end up just eating a crazy big dinner, and it's like the small breakfast did nothing. But if it's like you have enough protein for breakfast, you feel full and stuff, then you're not hitting 5,000 calories at dinner and then just being like, okay, that didn't work.
Yeah, absolutely. I think yeah, and it is depending on what your goals are and what you're trying to accomplish. I do think another thing that's probably from a health perspective worth mentioning is because we're talking about working out, walking that helps your body partition nutrients well. What does the opposite of that is drinking alcohol. It
Yeah.
partitions nutrients worse. So if you can moderate that, you'll be in a better place, especially if you're eating more food and stuff like that.
Yeah. And like If you drink a couple times, cool. You know, it is what it is. If you're really worried about it, you got something coming up, probably avoid it more. And then I also think, like, especially when you're in a new place, don't feel bad about it. Try new foods. But if you're really like, hey, I don't want to put on a bunch of weight on this vacation, go split a dessert with somebody. Like, you don't have to, you know,
Yeah.
I think it's easier to try things than like everybody. You don't need 3 scoops of ice cream. Like, split a couple scoops with your wife. Like, I don't know. I think there's an
Yeah.
easier way to try stuff and enjoy it and not just stuff your face for the whole time.
Yeah. It's always a balance and everything in moderation. Um, but if you were like, I think it would be kind of crazy to be like, I want to go on vacation and lose body fat because that would be pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
And like, you're going to be giving up a lot of stuff, but you can absolutely go on vacation and like maintain. I was actually talking with my coach about it today. A lot of times people go on vacation look a lot better. They're not losing body fat per se, but they're letting go of some stress. You know, when you let go of some stress, you look a little fuller. Your muscles, like, you just look leaner, healthier. Like, sometimes you can go and it's like the best thing for your physique. Um,
Yeah.
Lifting a little less, you know, like walking a little more, whatever it is, it can absolutely, it can help you look good.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too, man, like, prioritize your sleep. Like, it's a great time to catch up on sleep on vacation. Like, especially if you don't have, you don't have to be up at 6 a.m. like you normally are. Like, getting some more sleep it'll undoubtedly like help stress level, like all the things you're just talking about, hormone levels, stress levels. You'll look better, you'll feel better, and then you're ready to attack it when you get back at it. And I think the other thing too is, as humans, we're supposed to like go and, I feel this way, like you're supposed to be in kind of different phases, right? Like, you can't just maintain a super lean physique 365 days out of the year for 40 years straight. But you also can't,
And Ryan can
you know,
do that, but
that,
us mortals.
but like, you're healthier. Your joints feel better when you got more
Well,
body fat.
absolutely.
But you don't want to be like obese at the same time and just like constantly on a perma bulk for the next 50 years of your life at the same time. So like, there's balance in this. So I don't know, but I think it's a good reset week. Even strong, like a bodybuilding diet, you got your refeed meals, your refeed,
Oh yeah.
stuff like this. Treat it like that. Like, you're refeeding for this week. You're gonna feel good, and you get back to it the next week.
Yep. Yeah. That's exactly it. And if you, I mean, that's kind of, I've used it that way before. Like, hey, this week I'm just gonna eat a lot, and it's good, and it's good. Like, I need to. Um, so you can absolutely treat it that way. I mean, if you're like trying to bulk, and not just on a permanent bulk like Ryan said, but you're trying to bulk, vacation is an excellent time to do so. Just go eat.
Yeah,
Do it in a little bit of a smart way. Eat a lot of protein. Don't eat a ton of sweets. You know, don't drink your face off. That's actually not going to help you bulk at all. But like, go eat some protein. Go lift hard. Go eat a bunch of food, and train. And yeah, it's going to do your body wonders. Refeed.
it is funny too. Max, do you feel like do you ever feel like when you go on vacation sometimes like you get full a lot quicker? Like, sometimes I feel like our bodies like auto regulate like how much you're eating anyways, because you're not probably as active as you normally are with,
I
an
think I have a
intense
theory
workout.
on what that would be. I
Okay,
think
go for it.
more than you might one, yeah, you might not be burning as many calories, so you're getting more full, but more likely I bet is when you're on vacation, you're eating out a lot. Eating out, you have a lot more fats. So you're probably just eating more calories than you like denser meals. Higher on the fats, if I had to
I
guess.
Yeah, that's a good point. I do think though, man,
Counter
like,
it.
if I huh
I said counter it.
counter no, I'm just saying, like, even I think in, a week after season or something, um, wrestling season, you'd like you'd eat a lot more for like a week or two, and then very soon your body's like kind of like disgusted. You're like, I don't need this much
Oh
food,
yeah.
and you kind of hit this equilibrium and start like going back down. And I feel like
Yeah.
vacation, you kind of do the same thing where you eat a lot for like 1 or 2 days, and then you're kind of like, I'm kind of full. Like I'll have a big meal later, but I don't really
Yeah,
want a
that
huge
totally makes
meal right
sense.
now.
I thought you were saying like on a meal to meal basis. No, that totally makes sense. And I think that's probably just because you start getting full. It's easy to. That's like when people bulk, like that's where they screw up. They're like, "Oh, I got this," and they crush food for a week, and then after a week, it's like, "Whoa, that got hard." Like,
But
you
I
gotta
think
keep
the
going.
lack of
Yeah, but it's your metabolism. Your metabolism
yeah,
can like keep up for a certain amount of time, and it's also we've talked about this before. Caloric surpluses are not day to day. So like the longer you're in
yeah,
a caloric surplus, the harder it is to maintain a caloric surplus because it's like over a week
yeah.
and then. So yeah, it makes sense.
No, absolutely. And I just think like when you're lifting weights heavy, hard, like your body is requiring more nutrients. Like I'm always way more hungry if I'm lifting hard. The second I'm taking like some time away from training a little bit, or I'm not training
Takes
as
two
hard, like
days.
I'm just not as hungry. Yeah.
Yeah, takes like 2 days of off days, and I'm like, where's my appetite? It's
Well,
like that's all
yours
it
just
takes.
goes to a normal human instead of 10,000 calories a day.
So I've only done a couple 10,000 calorie days in my life. Those are
Dude, you ever
those are
seen like
pretty
those skinny dudes like hit 25,000 or something like that? That's crazy.
yeah. No, it's crazy. Well, it's yeah, that is crazy. I think yeah, no one needs 10,000 calories. Like absolutely no one.
Uh, Counterpoint. Iron Cowboy. Have you seen that?
No, I gotta look him up.
You haven't seen Iron Cowboy?
No.
It's like a Netflix documentary. Dude, he did like it was an Iron Man in every state, like 50 days straight.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that is crazy. Yeah, you probably at that point you might need 10,000 calories a day. So maybe not no one.
Would you ever do an Iron
That's
Man,
not
Max?
sustainable. Heck no. For one reason and one reason only, the 26-mile run. I can get around the
That's
swim
it?
like yeah.
Dude, swimming is by far the worst. The run, no problem. Bike, no problem. Swimming, like that's a long swim.
See, you don't weigh 250 pounds, so swimming is way cooler than running.
I feel like you're more of a sinker than a swimmer.
I would rather, well, how long is a swim in the Ironman? It's like
It's
4 miles,
2.4 miles, isn't it?
2.4.
I think so. I don't know. I haven't looked into it.
Yeah, 2.4 mile. Yeah, every day I'd rather swim 2.4 miles than run 26 miles.
Dude, do you know how long
That's a
2.4
long
miles
way.
takes to
But
swim?
you know how painful running 26 miles would be for me in my current condition.
I can't wait for this Spartan race with you.
I'm not Mr. Trump. The first person to admit it. Never.
Max, Max is gonna have to drop 20 pounds to do this Spartan race.
I'm seriously about what I'd have to do. Even when I've just never been good at distance running. I don't know why. It's not my thing. Even when I was at 197, I was like really strong for my body weight and lean and skinny. Distance running was not my specialty.
Not a runner. So you think you're more fast twitch muscle fibers? More of a
Probably
sprinter?
more of a
Okay.
sprinter. What about you? You like running long distances?
I don't like it, but I've always been good at it. Like endurance stuff, I've always been pretty good at.
I'm good at endurance. You can put me on an erg or a fan bike, and I can go like for a long time at a high pace. Just run. It's running. I hate running.
Really? Dude,
Yeah.
I feel like if I really trained it, I think I could do like a 3 mile pretty good. Like if I wasn't running for a long time and I just dropped, like I could definitely run a pretty fast mile time. Like I was always good at preseason run stuff. I was always good at time miles. I was good at stadiums, but I don't like that stuff. I just think I like my body type was good for it.
Yeah. Yeah. It just works for you.
I'm just
You.
I need to put on more
I want
muscle
to.
so
We
I'm
got to
not good
get
at running
Ryan up
anymore.
to yeah. This is back to get Project Get Ryan to 200, and then we'll make him run.
Yeah, I'm already almost there. Don't you worry.
What are you at right
A
now?
lot of fish in Hawaii. I
Yeah.
can't disclose that information on this public platform.
Yes, you absolutely you have to. What are you one? Are you lighter or heavier? than when you went on your.
I honestly don't know. Probably. I don't know, man. I got a scale over there. I'll check it at some point.
Yeah, I need to know because we're getting you to 200.
Yeah. No,
You have no excuses now. I'm gonna write if I'm gonna get you to agree to this publicly. I'm gonna write you a program and a meal plan to get you to 200 pounds.
dude, I'm doing a hypertrophy plan. I got to do it. I was on it and then got my ankle surgery, and I think that's the perfect plan. But we could go back and get some new ones.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we got to talk about Bridge,
We'll
dude.
write a new program on Bridge for Ryan, and then we'll publish it. Write you an updated hypertrophy program. We'll call it "Get Ryan to 200-pound program." And
Okay, I think we get a wait 1 sec. We get a better name than that. Sorry, continue.
Where do you want to go with that? Make Ryan a man program.
All right. You know what? I could hit 200 pounds today. I just got to drink a lot of water.
No cheating, 200 pounds. And look, that depends. If you're like 177, then good. 13 pounds. That's good luck.
That's 13. That's 23, bro.
Oh, man. We need to send Max to school. That's bad. 23 pounds. That's even worse.
Max only counts in 45s.
Yeah, that is the truth. Powerlifting,
Yeah.
I got 55-pound plates. It starts getting real complicated.
Yeah, it's tough. Hey, that's funny. You said you like track over like Olympic lifting?
Probably.
That's crazy, dude.
I like watching Olympic lifting. It is it is fascinating. But I actually think probably sprinting is more about power output than Olympic lifting. Olympic lifting is more technical.
Do you sprint?
No, but I'm starting.
Okay. Nice.
I did in college a bunch. I am gonna get back into it. That's another thing I decided with my pec injury.
Dude, you probably got to wait a little while because you're probably like, without realizing, like tense your pec a lot when you're pulling with your arms.
Yeah, probably. I definitely got to wait probably another several weeks.
Okay. We'll find a good hill. We'll do some hill sprints.
Sounds awesome.
No, that's sweet. Okay, we'll get the 200 bulk job plan. We're still workshopping the name. And yeah, I think honestly, man, just to wrap it a little bit with, hit your protein targets, enjoy the week, maybe make it a deload if you can, and crush your training the week before. It's a good time to do hypertrophy, get creative, kind of cross train, or at least do some kind of novelty training. Like it's going to be different than your normal training, which is probably good. And then you probably got activity in your itinerary. So if you're doing some other things, and then if you're really a psychopath, make sure you're packing your bands like Max.
There you go. Summed it up excellently.
No, bands are a great idea. Bands are great. Honestly, they're just sometimes you don't.
I don't take it as an insult. I know. I'm probably into training more than the average person.
Yeah,
I'm a psychopath about it.
Oh, I love it.
Mental health,
dude. Honestly, that's all lifting is now. Not all, but it's a big part of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
dude. It's yeah. No, for sure.
It's real. All right,
that's
a good somber ending to this episode.
All right, that concludes episode. Don't take fitness too seriously on your vacation. Enjoy the vacations and minimize the damage.
See ya.